If I have pressed my opponent and they refuse to attack me, rising reversal to the sword and a thrust into the chest, making your right foot follow the left. So this is a very fast, very effective way to deal with someone's porta di ferro stretta. Out here, it's not as great, but if I've pressed him, now all of a sudden, it works well because I don't need to move my feet, really the front foot here. Now, so a rising reversal, that's called a reversal ridoppio. This has to be strong. We're knocking that sword, he says, to your right. So this is not just a little thing here. My point will make a circular rotation and come up strongly. So it's not just this small turn of the hand. Some people do that. No, that's not it. Make a large action, beat it hard. To get more power into this, you're going to turn your body. So you'll see this has happened. I rotated. Hips, primarily, that's the big deal, is the hips rotate. So press, get inside or closer than normal, since he hasn't attacked you. Turn your hips, striking strongly. When you do so, your point should remain in the target and stab into the chest here and bring your right foot up behind your left. He doesn't specify what kind of thrust this is, interestingly. Likely an imbrocata. It always is. Now, and you may recall, if you've been paying attention, that sometimes when Anonimo particularly thrusts an imbrocata and passes the left foot, he doesn't complete it. He just stays, he says in the manner of Gordy di Leoncorno. However, that's when he's doing something next. That usually is followed by something. Here it's not. So I'm going to say complete that. Press, turn, step, and stab. This is into the chest. An imbrocata is a twisting thrust. So here's your final position. And there's no more mentioned by Anonimo. Press. Make the circular action. Turning. Beat that with your débellé. Advance your left foot, turning your body, twisting the sword. When it hits the chest, twists, and you're right here. Typical to get back here in normal cases. So I'm being pressed. When I'm being pressed, I want to keep my point firmly at the face of the opponent. When he makes his beat, I don't want to, I'm not going to just let him knock my sword away. On the other hand, I'm not going to be so rock solid tight, every muscle tensed, and that's not the way you fence. You don't want to be that way. That's not the way we are, and I'll never recommend that. But you have to be generally relaxed to not only be responsive, but to conserve your energy. So I do want to keep my point firmly at the face, but and plus the fact is, I don't know what he's going to do. I can't brace myself for something that I don't know is coming. And if you're training that way, you need to stop. We are not psychics. We have no foreknowledge. I don't know it. So when you train, there's this difficult skill you must develop of pretending not to know what's coming next. So if I'm faced with somebody who's pressing me, I need to be very open for any possibility. I don't know who's going to hit my sword, and I can't pretend that I do, and I can't act that way. So just keep the point of the face. He's got a beat, and it does knock my sword away. A good amount, enough for him to get in. It's not that he knocked it over here. Now, Anonimo's response to this, his counter technique, is when he beats your sword, let him. Don't make a movement there. That's my first thing. Do nothing. Let him beat it. Don't even try to stop that. It's not a good idea to even try. If he's going to beat it, he's going to beat it. And if he's going to beat it, I have a nice little defense here. I just use my false edge and hit him in the face with a mandritto. As you see, it's better that I didn't move and let my opponent do all the work. All I got to do is be watchful, and that's it. Do nothing. Also mandritto. Right? Never do more than necessary. Don't resist the beat. Don't move your feet. Falso mandritto. Hit him in the face. And if he's close enough to hit me, as we always say, I am close enough to reach him. So if you see this, we'll go a little carefully here. when he gets the thrust coming in, you see that he's in here. So when I use my false edge to deflect that, I can reach the face without overextending myself. Now, when you train, and especially if you're training slowly without gear but being careful, you do have to understand that factor. If you're making things a little spaced out, the reality of that is that you would be reaching easily. Here's another case where you've got to generate force without big bodily actions, right? Because all I here and here, I can't do, I don't have time and the inclination to make large actions. Sometimes you're going to have to generate as much as you can with your upper body. So if I'm pressed and I get my sword beat and he says to do nothing about it, and he says to defend myself, parry that with a falso or false edge, false with a sword, he says. Now, what do I have to use? This is an imbricata. It's not very strong, except right there on the point. What do I need to use right here? He's pushing it into my chest. It doesn't take much. It doesn't have to be a strong thing. You have to weigh that on a case-by-case basis. If that's all I have to do, it's all I've got to do. And normally, when you parry something with a falso, it's with a débellé. Almost always. Who said that? Dall'agocchie said that. When you parry things with a falso, you will almost always use your false edge. Here's the almost. Here's why it's almost always. Because I don't need to use my débellé here. It's perfectly okay to use my forte and just do that, because now right there. So it is a false edge. Do not turn your true, because I want it to be my false edge, because that follows it immediately. So false edge, not much strength, you don't need it. Use your forte, that's fine. It's one of those exceptions. And it works within the context of this situation. It's the best way to do it.